Welcome back to part 2 of Legends in 20, Tech Sales Power Session with Madanjit Singh. In this segment, we dive into the moments that define his leadership journey, the bold career moves, the decisions that shape teams and markets, and the personal principles that continue to guide him as a GTM leader. Moving back again to relook into some of your career-defining moments and how those moments in your leadership level can help the next generation out there. Number one, a bold career move, according to you, that completely transformed your trajectory to where you are today.
Okay, so Concur.
Yeah.
Right? So I was in Teradata, I got a call from a headhunter, and it's the first time I've actually kind of looked at a cloud solution. The size of business seemed to be very small. I was almost going to close the conversation, but they said, no, please do have a meeting with our general manager in the sense. So the learning here is never kill a conversation. You never know what's going to come out of it.
Okay.
If somebody invites you to a network event, go. And if you find that it's not very interesting, then don't stay very long. Have one drink and leave, but do show up in a sense, literally show up.
Well, that's a good way to put it, right?
Yeah.
Keep your ears open.
Absolutely.
Always.
Yes.
Great. Moving on to my next one, a leadership decision that had a lasting impact on your team or your business.
So I moved from Teradata as an individual contributor, right, to a small team leader, about 3 people in Concur in the sense, right? So, and before that, I'd obviously handled bigger teams like 19, 20 people in the sense. So I had to refocus my attention to being an individual contributor to a small team leader. Most important thing is, what is a constituents of your team members? If they themselves are very experienced people and they are not really less than 5 years work experience, etc., then they're almost like, a kind of a senior team. They themselves would be leads in a different way. So that is very important for you to be able to realize. And that is an opportunity which I had when I moved from Teradata into Concur. So how do you really come across those people as essentially your colleagues? And so what are the things which I always look at is that how do you communicate with them? How decisive you are and how positive you are when things are not going. This is called the CDP, as I call it, right? Communicate well, simplify, take decisions, even with imperfect information, and generally be positive, right? Because that's what is shown as a first-line leader.
Understand. All right. So the 3 traits which even today I get to see when I speak to Madanjit, right? Keep at it, build business, keep moving forward.
Absolutely. Right. Yes.
Something I really admire, apart from the guts, gumption, and grit. How would you define your personal leadership framework? And if you were to summarize in 3 words, what would they be?
Okay, so I think the most important quality which I espouse now is to be really humble, right? I think that's very important. Humility is self-directed. That's why that humor comes in, to be ability to laugh at yourself and to see that the humor in it. But that humbleness is very important, and it sits along with another bigger quality, which is being grateful for all the opportunities you'll be given. So it's not really, and it ties very well with humility in the sense.
Yep.
So humbleness. And then the third one is essentially be authentic, right? Be for real. So you don't have to be perfect who you are, and people will treat you that, okay, I asked Madanjit, he told me what he knows, right? And he's not kind of shaping it one way or the other. So I would say those are the 3 things, right? Be humble, be grateful, be authentic.
Beautifully summarized, Madanjit, for that. All right. So this is the career-defining moments. Now moving into the quick fire round, and there are no gift hampers for that. Sorry.
No problem.
Yeah. The biggest win you're proud of, Madanjit.
I won grand in Singapore at Concur when Concur was no brand here. Right. Yeah. So
Oh, beautiful logo. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I've worked with the team before. One of the most modern, future-looking young team that keeps believing in pushing the boundaries forward. Right.
Yes. Hugely admire what they have done grounds up, so not Uber, etc., which is, this whole idea about foreign brands coming in. While I have nothing wrong, but I have a soft corner for Asian brands building up to global competencies.
Yeah, beautiful, iconic logo.
Yeah.
Well done, Madanjit, right? Now, moving from the win, let's talk about the setback or the deal you have lost and what it taught you.
Okay. I think the deal which we lost, and we put a lot of work in, I've lost a lot of deals, but UOB, United Overseas Bank deal, which we lost, and we lost for some other reasons which was not directly connected to us, but that is not important. But you have to really accept failure and show up to the customer and say, we respect the amount of effort you put in. I know you did not select us. We respect your decision. But if there is anything which we can add value, we will do that. So show bravery in that defeat, in the sense. Be humble, etc. People will remember it, right? All of us, whether we are buyers, sellers, partners, etc., all understand that nobody likes losing. So if somebody is losing and I showed up to your office, people respect you for that. They may not be able to help you, but they'll respect you for that.
All right, so brave through your losses.
Yes,
as well,
absolutely.
right? All right. A myth about GTM or leadership that you would like to bust once and for all.
I would say that, there are stereotypes of leaders, right? That they have to be like very articulate, they have to be perfect in their approaches, whiteboard, etc. I don't think that's true, right? I think people, especially our young colleagues who are entering in 5 years, 10 years in the business, in the sense, really like to see authentic Asian leaders who would speak their mind, etc., not really be very well crafted in their communication, etc. Be for real, in the sense.
Speaking of being real, right? I think that's one trait that has absolutely not changed anything about you, at least in the last, I think, 4 years since I've known you. And the entire industry knows Madanjit to be that authentic leader, to turn up, to show up when you need him the most.
Well, thank you very much. I think one of the things which is very important is to be able to is the power of communities, and we can talk about that even separately after the podcast, right? So the communities are a great leveler because they kind of fill you into the things which you don't know. So, for example, communities like Pavilion, and there can't be others also. Obviously, I'm associated and you are associated with Pavilion, but there could be others. So find your own tribe, in the sense, which suits your style, and to be able to work along with them, to be able to learn from them, share, and get inputs.
Yeah. So I'm curious on that, right, Madanjit? You have successfully led Pavilion today across Asia,
Yes.
Singapore chapter
Yeah.
head, right? What got you started into Pavilion? And I remember back then, 5 years back, there were a handful of us. This was 2020, if I'm not wrong,
Yes.
right? And today I say it's one of those formidable leadership, power pack networking forum. What made you believe in Pavilion and how did you bring it to where it is today?
Okay. So I started off as Pavilion for myself, right? Right. So this was in December 2019. I was looking for a community. I obviously had a lot of invested time in LinkedIn, but LinkedIn actually is more digital, and I was looking for more in person. So Pavilion provided that in-person connect with senior leaders. So that's very important. The seniority, not from an arrogance point of view, but to be able to have a position of being learning from them was very important for me. And there were many gaps, right? So I was obviously a quota-bearing salesperson, so I knew that part, but I didn't know marketing very well. I taught myself customer success, which is another topic, and there were many other things which were gaps. So Pavilion filled those gaps in by having a teachable point of view. Then over a period of time, from myself to others, I kind of replicated what I said was the benefit I got. So I did not customize the story to every person who contacted me and say, tell us more about Pavilion and how we should join. I said, it's your decision. This is what I got a part of it. So I got ourselves with very good value and culture. The community is very strong, and it's a great learning opportunity. So those are the three things. And it resonates with people, in the sense, really. So today we are about 100 executive members, and we have really grown, right? From 2 in December 2019 to this. It's like, it's, it's better than most of my other SaaS records in the sense.
So agree with that. And the community even helped me out, Madanjit, when I was just transitioning out from my own co-founding days, right? And there were gaps, as you rightly pointed out, right? Every sales leader or an individual contributor has gaps. While they are good at certain niche level, there exists some gaps. And my objective of having joined Pavilion back then was to see, hey, is there some way I can fix these gaps? And needless to say, Pavilion's digital chapter is one of the strongest out there. As long as you have the initiative, you have the content out there to fill that gaps. It can be
I agree.
marketing,
I agree.
ops. Yep. Thank you for that,
I
Madanjit.
know. Thank you. I think the motivation is from you. Nobody can take that away, right? In this, and content is a content. It's about you trying to say, I want to do that, and I want to make an opportunity to do that.
Awesome. Now, moving from there back into the quick fire mode, right? So one of the key things I ask every leader, what's the daily ritual or habit that you need to perform to keep you grounded and effective?
Okay, so again, it depends on this thing. I can talk about only for myself.
Sure.
One is to have a little bit of quiet time in the morning. It could be personal prayer, meditation, in any form it takes, right? Doesn't matter whether it is religious or otherwise. I respect all religion in the sense, but just have time to yourself before the busy day starts. So if your busy day is going to start at 8 a.m., then essentially have a time at 7 a.m. or 7:30 after you're done with settling down, having a little bit of a cup of tea or coffee, to have a little time to yourself to be able to assign your priorities, what you're trying to do. So that is very important, I would say. That half an hour could have great dividends right through the day for yourself.
Noted. All right. One of the best advice you have ever received from a mentor and you follow till date?
Okay. I've received a lot of advice from good people, and maybe I did not follow it at that point of time, but essentially I did follow what they were trying to say. And some of the advice was, don't try to push when things are really kind of the wall is very solid. So be very mindful the amount of energy which is being spent to be able to overcome that resistance. So that goes against a little bit about what I said about grit. So you have to be a little mindful and take advice from mentors or other folks. Tell you when it is just too hard. If it is just too hard, maybe that's not really very important, and you will expend a lot of energy and maybe political capital, maybe a lot of your energies could be better spent somewhere else. So this whole idea is effort to outcome, which I always talk about. So be very mindful that it is just too much effort, or is it likely to have an outcome? If it is, if the outcome is worth it, then effort as much as possible in the sense.
I hear you. Pretty much it's like, Kai, make sure you choose your battles wisely.
Yes, I think that is one. Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Choose your battles, the ones which are tracked to win, right? So, for example, if you're trying to build a business, then build a business, right? Build partnership, build pipeline, build relationship, etc. Right? In the sense.
I hear you. That was quite insightful. Now, before we wrap up, I would like to check with you. If you had to leave today's audience, the next generation of sellers and leaders, with just one lesson to carry throughout their career, what would it be?
Okay, now it's obviously puts a lot of focus on choice. Yeah. I think one of the most important thing which I learned later is that for every person listening there who's a leader, in my opinion, whether they have a title of a sales, senior sales, or whatever manager, that build your peer relationship. Now, hear me out clearly. A lot of us kind of do the reporting supervisory managers. We listen to them very intently, and the people who reported to us, we have a sense of belonging to them or responsibility. We kind of miss out our peer group. So, for example, if you're in sales, then your marketing peer leader, your customer success, your pre-sales, your finance, etc. The reason we don't do that, because we believe that we are competitive. So we believe that they would kind of we will not trust them to open our mind on the sense. I think that's a self-limiting belief in the sense. You have to build a relationship with them. It's really hard. So the takeaway is build the peer level of connect.
That's a wrap for this episode of Legends in 20 Tech Sales Power Sessions. A huge thank you to Madanjit Singh for sharing his journey, wisdom, and humor with us. If you found this valuable, please like, share, and tag someone who's building their own path in GTM leadership. Let's continue helping the next generation build markets, lead with courage, and more importantly, grow with purpose.